good evening and welcome to episode 26 of Ox Sports Unleashed. Welcome if you're in your bathroom, your jacuzzis, your steam rooms, your saunas, your garages, your toilets, wherever. Welcome to the #1 sports show in Oxfordshire. I know they might argue that. Thank you for joining us on this sort of warmer Thursday evening. And our thank you goes to Sunningwell Cricket Club today, where certain presenters were having a cricket match with Oxfordshire under-18. So we thank Sunningwell very much for their hospitality and 2 good T20s.
Well, I was going to win both of them.
And I thought you were. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice a certain old dog is back in the building. KDog is back with us. So where have you been and what have you enjoyed from this programme in the last couple of weeks? We haven't been around.
I haven't been watching it, to be honest. No, joking. No, I've not been particularly well. Apologies if I start coughing and spluttering through tonight. Yeah, I've had a bit of a stinky cold. I'm not going to say flu because I'm not. Don't think it was. They've been good shows. Thank you to the locksmith, and also a couple of weeks ago to the roller coaster.
Absolutely.
Yeah, roller coaster Ryde. It was fantastic when he.
Took so much more professional, weren't they?
Both of our places that week, didn't we? Both of us were out, and it was probably the best show of the lot.
Absolutely.
So maybe that's telling you something. No, I really enjoyed the Axeman last week. That was really, really good. Your interview skills for boxers is getting better. I think I know why that is, because you know that if you mess it up, you're just going to get punched in the face.
Basically,
Yeah, that's probably it. I'm not sure we can call it the #1 show, because I've just been looking back at Bear and Barnes. They get massive views, don't they?
They do get views. We might have one of them on.
Possibly. Who knows?
Obviously, coming up tonight, Banbury highlights, Lock, Lyon and Ryde, our normal trio, and also an interview with Oxford City Stars head coach Shannon Taylor. Looking forward to getting him back onto the show and seeing how the season went for Oxford City Stars and what's in the future for them. I think without further ado, I'm going to go over to you.
Yeah, we'll crack on. No Oxford City this week. They had a week off because Bromley were in the FA Trophy semi-final, and Andy Wing's Solihull Moors actually got to Wembley by beating Bromley 2-1 in that semi-final down in Kent. So pride of place this week went to Banbury United. They'd been on a stinking run, to be honest. Let's face it, 13 straight defeats. I shouldn't laugh, but it was since Mark Jones left, it's been a catalogue of catastrophe for Banbury United. But did they manage to stop the rot on Saturday? They were at home to Kings Lynn Town, and they needed a win really to keep any chances at all of staying up. But they did produce a better performance, and here are the highlights from that game, Banbury United against Kings Lynn, followed by an interview with the manager Kevin Wilson.
Your thoughts on today's game and the reaction afterwards, a really positive one as well.
I thought certainly for the first 40 minutes, I thought we were the better side. They took a little bit of a holding later in the game, and then a bit of they've had one shot all half, and it's ended in the back of our net. So we had to have a chat at half time. We didn't show the same energy and the work rate as we did on Wednesday night, but I felt we passed the ball and we moved the ball a lot better, especially in the first half. And I think we deserved a point. Did we deserve 2-3 points? Yeah, maybe so. But we know what football's like, and I think Kings Lynn were absolutely a stonewall penalty as well. So we've had a little bit of luck that went our way, which is a big change.
I was going to say to you, Kevin, because you haven't had an awful lot of luck if we look back on the game against Hereford, that goal that was disallowed. So maybe you just allowed a little bit of one occasionally.
Yeah, I was going to say, what I've got to say is that these lads have give every last ounce for me. They've worked hard. I can't fault them. The only thing is that when you come in mid-season or late season, it's not your team, and we would be doing a lot different. But it's been very difficult to train at times with the circumstances, with having the pitch underwater and doing the things that they needed to do. I think that one thing this football club needs is to have a foundation and have it set in stone to where they're going to be, and whether that's a short term, a mid term, and a long term plan. And if they can do that, then certainly start moving back in the right directions.
There you go, that's Kevin Wilson reflecting on a better performance, a 1-1 draw against Kings Lynn. Unfortunately, that result did leave Banbury 12 points adrift from safety with only 4 games left. Their goal difference is significantly worse than everybody else is above them as well. So effectively they're down. And live updates from this evening's game, where they've made the very short trip to Spennymoor on a Thursday night. 450 mile round trip. They have just gone a goal down in the last few minutes. A penalty converted in the 20th minute by Will Harris. So Spennymoor Town 1, Banbury United 0. That will 100% confirm Banbury's relegation if that stays the same. We'll keep you updated on that score throughout the rest of the the rest of the show. Darryl.
Well, we wish them the best for the rest of that game. That 70 minutes is quite crucial to Banbury United Football Club. That takes us quite nicely onto our normal roundup of last week's football, and I look forward to this weekend's fixtures with our firm of solicitors, Lock, Lyon and Ryde, or as I like to call them, the goodies. Ooh. So here's Graham Garden, Tim Brooke-Taylor and Bill Oddie, Lock, Lyon and Ryde.
Yes, time to look over last weekend's results and ahead to this week's fixtures in the company of my 2 guests, Paul Lyon. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Colin.
And Patrick Lott. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Colin.
Now, it's not often we get to talk about back-to-back wins for Oxford United, but Paul, 4-0 away at Burton Abbey was a very good result for the U's, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 4-0s running for United, which is amazing. 2 clean sheets and 8 goals. So they've put themselves back in the playoff spots now, and it's going to be a big week for them coming up because they've got to play Peterborough and Lincoln, haven't they? Who are in and around the playoffs as well. So if they can keep that run of form going, then they should be able to sneak into that final spot and have a chance of promotion. But it'll be tough. Peterborough are playing well, Lincoln are playing well. They've also got Stevenage coming up, who are not far behind. So there's no easy games for United. But I guess if you want to get promoted, you've got to win the games that matter. And they've got 3 big games now coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and the only bad news was an injury to Cameron Brannigan, who isn't the sort of player you want missing from any squad, let alone the busy end of the season, Paul, is it?
No, it's like us losing Reece Fleet or Zach McEachran or Josh Ashby, isn't it? One of those players that you never want to lose. And let's hope he comes back soon. I don't like to see any player get injured, especially this time of year, because you want to keep your squad together and to keep the form level going. Just like City last season when we got through the playoffs, we managed to keep all the players together for those last few games and just got us over the line. And you don't want too many changes by the time you get to April.
Indeed, but meanwhile, Oxford City were without a game at the weekend. Did that mean it was all quiet down to the Royal Charging Stadium, Paul?
Never quiet at Oxford City, is it? We've got our development team playing. They've been playing. Ladies have been playing. The kids teams have been playing some games, even though it's school holidays. We've had some kids teams on. Our disabled teams were playing on Sunday in the Gale Force Winds. and there's a few cup matches on. So yeah, it's lots going on at City at the moment. So even when the first team aren't playing, there's still lots to do.
All right, we'll start our review with Banbury United, and already heard about their 1-1 draw at home to Kings Lynn. Not enough to keep them safe from relegation, and the Oxford Mail reckons that they've got to win all 4 of the remaining games if they've got any chance of staying in the National League North, and that's assuming everybody else loses. On their current form, Paul, it doesn't look too good, does it?
I don't think it's likely. Even if they win all 4 games, I don't think the other teams are going to lose all the games as well. They've got to win 4, and the other team's got to lose all the games, and that's really unlikely to happen, which is a shame for Banbury because at the start of the season they were mid-table and looked like they'd be okay, but it's been tough for them. And yeah, I think there's a few teams going to be going back where they came from this year.
Indeed, there is. But in spite of relegation being confirmed for Didcot Town, they're still playing for pride, Patrick. 2-2 draw away at Shelley on Saturday was a pretty good result to stop the rot, as Jamie Heapy says.
Yeah, I actually watched the highlights of that back earlier, and it was quite an interesting game in terms of the goals scored. I think it's a bit like City, really, aren't they? The relegation hasn't seen them kind of just give up and see the season out. They've decided to give it a good go, like City have. I mean, City obviously won their first game after relegation was obviously confirmed, and Didcot got a point. So yeah, I think obviously they'll fight for every point remaining as will City. So yeah, shame to see them go down, but yeah, I think that, again, too many comparisons with City. It was always going to be a tough season for them, but yeah, certainly had some good results in there as well.
Okay, Patrick, take us through the rest of the weekend results, the tables, and what's coming up next for Oxfordshire football fans. And it looks as though Kidlington and Tamer's going to scrap it out to be the last to drop, as it were. So, but anyway, take us through the results as they stared last Saturday, Patrick.
Yes, and after the last several weeks of results not being the greatest to review, it's actually been a fairly positive week this week, looking through the non-league results. Obviously, already heard about United's big win, Banbury ending their losing streak in the National League North. And obviously, I just mentioned Didcot Town, but I'll go through the game in a bit more detail. So obviously, they travelled away to Sholing. Didcot actually took the lead quite early on. Ben Putland pounced on a loose ball about a yard out, actually, as Sholing were unable to clear their lines, but the host did pull it back and equalised after a bit of a defensive calamity from Didcot. Saw the Sholing striker able to go through and score past the keeper. They went on to take the lead just before half time, but just literally moments after the break when the equaliser came in a bit of bizarre style, actually. And if you had watched the Liverpool game in midweek, it was a bit like that, where Harvey Fox charged down the keeper and the keeper could only smash it against him, and it went flying back past the keeper and into the net. So a bit of a bizarre goal to equalise, but the score ended up like that, and saw them hold on to that point. Tame United were involved in something of a thriller as well. They shared 6 goals with AFC Dunstable. Carl Brooks gave Dunstable the lead after just a couple of minutes, but we seem to mention him every week. Jefferson Louis levelled 5 minutes before the break. But Ben Wayman scored twice for Dunstable to put them 3-1 ahead with just 10 minutes to play, actually. But Ryan Knight came to Thames rescue. He scored twice in those last 10 minutes to see the side share the spoils there. Kidlington were left beaten, though, away at Ware. Ware scored twice in the second half, which was enough for them. And we do have some reaction from Ben Sadler to that game at full time.
Ben, defeat against a promotion-challenging side. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I thought they were the best team I've seen this year, this season. I think if you're putting a step 4 side together that you want to win the league, they tick most of those boxes. And I thought it was a really, really competitive game between 2 good teams.
Did today fulfil your expectations of how you imagined it panning out, or did you expect more?
Good question, mate. I think playing Thursday... Actually, do you know what? I thought coming into it, playing Thursday would affect the lads and our legs might be heavy. But actually, it's not the way it went. I thought we played some good football. They played some decent football, very effective. But I think when you've got one team at the top of the league and one team at the bottom, they get a little break of the ball. The number 9 takes the goal very well. And then the right winger, who was good all day, scored a good goal. You can't stop good players for 90 minutes and all the time. And I think they deserve the win. I don't think we can have any complaints about 2-0.
Wantage Town have to headline the Step 5 results again. Their resurgence from the bottom of the Hellenic League continued. Their fight for survival saw them win 2-1 at home against Hereford Lads Club. It was a dream start for them, actually. Mason Muckelberg gave them the lead after just a minute, but within the next 10 minutes, Hereford Lads Club did equalise. Joshua Elms did put Wantage back ahead after 21 minutes, which actually ended up turning out to be the winner. So I doubt there's many people at that game that thought 3 goals in the first 20 minutes was going to be that. But them rooted at the bottom of the Hellenic League, and they're just 2 points away from survival, actually. So with their resurgence, you definitely wouldn't put it past them surviving in the Hellenic League Premier. In the Combined Counties League, and Ardley United won the Oxfordshire derby against Milton United. 2 Mason Courtney goals early in the second half was the difference between the two sides there. Wallingford and Crowmarsh were also victorious on Saturday. Aidan Higgs scored a hat-trick away at Risborough Rangers. They ensured a big victory for themselves on the road there. And rounding off the Step 5 action, Easington Sports earned the points with a 1-1 draw away at March Town United. And in Step 6, there's a couple of games. Abingdon United won again away at Clanfield. I say away at Clanfield, but it was actually played at Fairford Town in a neutral venue, as I think Clanfield's pitch wasn't up to it, so they played up there. So I guess a neutral venue. Joel Krill scored, and John Mills apparently another screamer in that game. So they had a big win there. But the other game in that league, Killington Reserves were left beaten away 2-0 at Cheltenham Saracens. So we'll have a quick look at the league table, and Oxford United's big win saw them back in the playoff spots in 6th in League One. Obviously, Oxford City, we know they're now confirmed bottom of the National League, unfortunately. Banbury United 22nd, but obviously, as we've mentioned, they can't afford to drop any more points, and not even that might save them. Didcot Town, they're still bottom of the Southern League Premier. Northley, they've dropped to 11th, Killington 17th and Tame 18th. And obviously, as you mentioned a minute ago, Colin, bit of a scrap there. And I think it's a weird situation at the bottom of the Southern League Central. Is it's the 18th place team, I think, goes into a relegation playoff, presumably with the team in the Southern League Division 1 South. So could be a critical few weeks coming up for both of those sides. So coming up on Saturday, Oxford United, they host the newly crowned EFL Trophy champions in Peterborough United at the Kassam Stadium. Oxford City, a big game coming up with Oldham Athletic visiting in the National League. And again, a game a few years ago you would never believe might ever happen. Oxford City hosting a team of that calibre. Banbury United, they're on their travels up to Chorley. Didcot Town, they host Plymouth Parkway, and actually they only just a couple of weeks ago played them away after that game was postponed several times. Northley, they're on their travels to Waltham Abbey. Kidlington, they host Leighton Town, and Tame United, they're on their travels as well as they head over to Biggleswade Town. And on Sunday, it's just one game as Oxford City women, they're in action. They travel to Warminster Town. And that is what's coming up, Colin.
Thanks a lot. But have I got this right, Paul? But is the Oldham game, Oxford City, is that on a Sunday or is it still on a Saturday? I thought I saw a Sunday coming up on
Saturday.
It's Saturday, is it? Okay, got that right.
Okay. I hope it is, because I've been sending out notifications to everyone Saturday. So, and hopefully everyone won't be turning up on Sunday when the game's already been played.
No, all right. So, and Darryl Woods will have a story about me about turning up on the wrong day, I'm sure, to hand back. Anyway, that wraps up this week's review of Oxford football. Thank you so much indeed to Patrick Lock and Paul Lyon. And back to the main studio for much more Ox Sports Unleashed.
Our thanks there to the goodies, Graham, Tim and Bill, and our firm of solicitors, Lock, Lyon and Ryde, for their normal roundup. Interesting, the Shoaling versus Didcot defending. That, if you watch that now back on Twitter, it's gone quite, or X I should say, it's gone quite viral. The defending there was of a comical nature, I think we can definitely say. But well worth going to watch that again, actually. And no disrespect to anybody there, but it is quite good viewing. Well, the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that KDog has vacated his seat, and we've been joined again by Shannon Taylor, head coach of Oxford City Stars. Welcome, Shannon. Thanks for coming in.
No, thank you for having me. Sorry for the downgrade.
It's good for you to come back in. We had you in earlier in the season when you took over the role of head coach. How do you think your tenure has gone in that short period to the end of the season?
Yeah, it's been exhilarating. It's been a learning experience. It's been really, really good. There's been some horrible moments. There's been some fantastic moments. But all in all, from my own personal point of view, very, very enjoyable. From the club's point of view, I think if you look back at the course of this season, I think it would be very fair to say that it wasn't a success. I think there was much promise, and I think we went our way of proving that what you have on paper doesn't necessarily mean that you have a good result on the pitch or on the ice, as it were. So, but yeah, I've really, really enjoyed the last however many weeks, 12 weeks, I think it's been. So yeah, it's been really enjoyable.
Good stuff. Obviously, the results weren't as you wanted, but from the team performances and the squad that may go into September of this year for the new season, looking forward to, and obviously going to make some changes, some hard changes, but looking ahead, what's that look like for Oxford City Stars at the moment?
Yeah, so no, it's fair to say the results weren't always as we would have liked, but given where we came in from, it wasn't unexpected. We saw lots of really positive change actually throughout the course of my tenure. So, we were trying to change the playing style. So, myself and Simon, the previous coach, have slightly different ways of doing things. That's not to say I'm right and he's wrong. It's just that we do things in a different way. We saw the performances improve a lot. We saw a different way of playing. We saw the players grasp that and do a brilliant job. It's just, unfortunately, we probably didn't have the right personnel at times to finish the job that we wanted. But, I can't fault the effort and the commitment of the guys that were there. They were fantastic from the moment I took over. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. There will be changes. When we took over, I think we quite publicly said that we were going through a rebuild structure. So, that means that there will be changes, naturally. Obviously, I was one of those. So, we're looking to do things in a very different way come September. Obviously, right now is really the more stressful time for me. So the season itself is relatively easy. It's either good or it's bad, but you can only do what you can do. But right now it's kind of that chaos of everybody trying to sign everybody. It's trying to hold on to the players you want to hold on to and bring in the players that you want to bring. And it's a relatively shallow pool of players. We're not looking to just bring in anybody. We're looking to bring in the right people. But yeah, it's an interesting few months ahead. I have to keep reminding myself that we're only at the 10th, 11th of April today. The season doesn't start till September, so I don't need to panic just yet. But, I also don't want to spend all summer on the phone to different players. I want to get things sorted out as quickly as we can do. So, yeah, it's a fairly chaotic time at the moment.
In some of the things you do, I've only been to a couple of games, and it's really hard because it's new sport to me to go and watch and seeing how things were going. Some of the things that you were implementing in your training, could you see that sort of glimmer of some really good stuff going forward? Is that fair to say?
100%, yeah. So, I like to play a very attacking style of hockey. And we saw that on a number of different occasions. So we saw some brilliant performances. We saw some horrible performances as well. But, we come up against some good teams that were well established, and they, went on and did good things in the league and in the playoffs. So, but yeah, we saw some brilliant stuff coming through. We saw some players develop in brilliant ways. It was really nice to see. And as a coach, and it was my first time in that type of position, seeing your players develop is second to none in terms of enjoyment. And we saw some really good performances. Yes, we saw some things come from the training ground or training pitch, if you will, onto the games, and some of those things were brilliant to see. And unfortunately, we had some really competitive games, but we were slightly light on bodies for various different reasons. So some injury, some suspension, some just general availability. So we had some really competitive games for 30, 40 minutes of games, and just unfortunately ran out of legs towards the end. So, they were competitive up until the point where we were just knackered. So, yeah, but which was nice to see, because I don't think we were in that position previously. So it was good.
Yeah, but in fact, the two games I saw, Streatham Royals obviously went on to win the league, didn't they? And Chelmsford Chieftains won the playoffs.
Playoffs, correct, yeah.
So, the two I saw, two decent sides with, depth of squad. So the rotation of the stubs, massive, where perhaps you didn't have quite the massive personnel to do that.
Yeah, and Streatham are league winners, multiple league winners. I think they're probably 3, maybe even more times on the bounce where they've won the league. So, they're a hugely successful team. They're well coached. They've got a good depth of player within the team. Chelmsford the same. They've probably underperformed over previous years. They had a new coach go in this year, Cliff, who's done a remarkable job, actually taking them from 5th in the table to 2nd in the table. And they've just gone on to win the playoffs. And I think over the course of the 4 games they played, so the 2 against us, the semi-final and the final, I think they scored something close to 40-odd goals. So, on an average of 10 goals a game is pretty handy. So, they've done incredibly well. But, it's difficult when we go into a game with 2 lines of players and they've got 4 lines of players. Yeah. And not only have they got 4 lines of players, they've got 4 quality lines of players. And that's not to say that the 2 we had weren't quality. It's just it takes its toll when you're going out over and over again against those sort of players. So I stand by it. I was incredibly proud of my players and their performances. Whilst the results wouldn't have necessarily been where we'd like, the boys gave everything, and they continued to turn up week in, week out under incredibly difficult circumstances. So, yeah, I was very proud.
I was going to say that because it is a commitment. It's Saturday and Sunday, and the squad may change between the two days, I know, but, it's still a commitment, and it's quite tough, isn't it? It's 60 minutes of full on.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yes, so, none of us in the ice hockey world are football millionaires, unfortunately. We all got quite good at a sport that we didn't make a huge amount of money on, so maybe my advice to the young kids today is pick a sport where you can make millions and millions. But hockey's a brilliant sport, it really is. But no, it's incredibly tough. It's a challenging sport. It's physical. That at its worst, you could have somebody trying to punch you in the face. At its best, they're still trying to take you out and check you and hurt you at times. So, and if you're doing that for 60 minutes on the Saturday and then coming back in and doing the same thing again on the Sunday, it takes its toll. So, and like I say, these guys have got to go to work on the Friday. They, some of those have manual jobs themselves as well, and then they have to get up for work on Monday morning. So it's an absolute testament to those guys that show up week in, week out. I've been there and done it. I understand how difficult it is. So, I as a coach now will never chastise anybody for being a little bit tired. They all have difficult circumstances to get through at the best of times.
They all do get drained after a game, I have to say, of watching that. I do like the way you dry the gloves in between the periods. That's quite a machine.
Yeah, it's a well built piece of kit. So it's a funny one because not every club necessarily has it. So it was something kind of as you go up through the leagues, you want your gloves dried. I was never one for it, if I'm being totally honest. So I remember I used to play with wet gloves almost all the time until somebody said, mate, you really need to try and dry your gloves. So yeah, I gave it a go once. I've never gone back since. It's nice just to have a nice warm pair of gloves to put on in between the periods. So
I should explain. It's sort of it's a downpipe from a guttering all put together with a couple of hair dryers in each end with poles coming up. And the gloves are on there, just drying out.
Just drying out. But you'll see skates on there, you'll see gloves on there, you've seen the occasional helmet on there as well.
I must admit, I got into the wrong position. I was right above it. The smell coming off it is quite right, I have to say. I mean, it is quite entertaining, I must admit. I
would avoid that if you can.
Yeah. I've sampled that now, so I don't need to again. Brilliant. What I was coming on to, obviously, proud moment for you. You son became 16 in January, played his first game, made his debut at the age of 16. Proud moment for a parent, but what was that like from a parental point of view, but also from a coach point of view?
Different. As a parent, unbelievably proud, of course. Ethan started playing hockey when he was 5 years old, 5 years old. Playing with Swindon Juniors, they've got a phenomenal program in Swindon, and they've done brilliant things with him. I didn't actually coach him, so I wanted to stay away. I've been very fortunate that he's been coached by people that I know and trust throughout the course of his junior career. So I've just let them get on with it. To be honest, I didn't want to be that kind of pushy parent. We've all seen the football dads sit at the sidelines. I didn't want to be that. I think it's probably fair to say at times I probably was, but I tried to avoid it as much as I possibly could do. But yeah, it was fantastic to see. And as a parent, I knew what he was capable of. He had been training with the team for a fair while. So long before I ever took over as a coach, he had been training with the team because he's a good player. So as Simon, the previous coach, would rightly do, he was looking at an eye to the future. So had him train him. We knew he was capable. We knew he could handle the physicality of it because we don't take practice lightly. Everybody pitches in. So to put him into those games, it was, I wouldn't say nerve-wracking because I knew what he was capable of, but it was it was certainly interesting. But I can't lie. I feel for him because he certainly gets a harder time than most because I obviously probably give him a little bit more abuse and pick on him more than I would do some of the other players because I need to make an example of him at times. But I'm unbelievably proud. He's done incredibly well, and he's proved that he's there on merit. He's justified his selection. He's, I think, put up 2 goals, maybe two assists. So, in a relatively short sample size of games, it's a pretty good return on what he's done. For a 16-year-old, it's a phenomenal return. So
he was player of the match for your side against the Chelsea.
Yeah. So he was player of the game for the Chelmsford game, and he actually won Player of the Month for March, which was voted for by the fans. So, I have no impact or influence over that. So that's people that have come in to watch the games that are seeing for their own eyes that he's, working hard and contributing. So, that was again another nice moment. And in the interest of complete honesty, he wouldn't have been my vote actually for Player of the Month. Hard dad. And I will give my wife and Ethan's mum. She also would have picked a different player than Ethan as well. So, but
it doesn't mean it, Ethan. Honestly, if you watch it, he doesn't mean it.
No, we like him, but
as a son,
he's all right. Yeah, he could tidy his room better, maybe, but the hockey side of it's fine.
Yeah. Stuff. You mentioned there, you alluded to different coaching, Ethan. There. What is the setup there? Obviously, you're head coach. Who have you got underneath you, and what happens around the Oxford City Stars, if you like?
Loads. Loads. So I'm very fortunate. I've got a fantastic assistant coach in Josh. So Josh Flory, he's been part of the Oxford club forever and a day. I actually had the good fortune of playing with Josh as well in one of my stints with Oxford. So I got to know Josh very well. We don't always agree, which I would argue is brilliant because it's not just an echo chamber of what I want to do. We have those ideas to bounce off each other. We, as a club at Oxford, have unbelievable volunteers, and they go over and above every single week. And I'm sure every club in the country has very similar. But I can't tell you how much I cherish the people that we have at the club because they make my life immeasurably better. Because it would be impossible to do it all on my own. And then around that we have a development squad in the Oxford Rising Stars, so run by Paul and Russ and Darryl as their coach, do a brilliant job. We've got a good working relationship with them as a club in terms of what we do in terms of bringing people through the systems, which is really nice. I had a meeting with them last week about what we're doing for the upcoming season to make sure that we're all aligned in terms of the players that we're interested in and looking at, and how we're going to bounce people up and down between the two squads, which is brilliant. It's great for Oxford. And I think at times, I think people have probably accused and looked as an outsider looking in that we're not completely joined up. I think we want to quash that myth. That's couldn't be further from the truth. Yeah. We've got a great working relationship between the two clubs. Whilst we are separate, we're not in any way, shape or form. We're very much part of the same Oxford hockey family. And then we have a junior club, so ran by former player Darren Elliott as the head coach of the club, doing a brilliant job. The club, it is probably fair to say over the course of years has probably not been up to the standard it should have done. Darren's taken that over and is doing a fantastic job. We're seeing junior players being developed now that obviously from my point of view I want to get them into the squad. We're probably a little while away from that for the time being, but those things take time. We need to see those players develop and learn, and that's the whole point of having a pathway programme. So you can go from the junior club through to the Rising Stars and into the City Stars. That being said, if somebody's good enough, as soon as they're good enough, they'll be in my team. I'm a firm believer that if you're good enough, you should be given the opportunity to play, regardless of your age, albeit the rules are slightly tenuous on that. But and I would encourage anybody to take a look at the Oxford Junior Stars Facebook page. If you ever want to get involved, they have a Learn to Play programme, which is brilliant. So Darren, again, runs that. Fantastic value for money. There's obviously the ability to get some kit loaned from the club as well to get you on the ice, to give you that initial try.
That's brilliant.
And it's it's a sport that, like I say, won't make you a millionaire. I'm sorry, not unless you get to the very, very pinnacle. But you'll make friends for life, have a great time, get to occasionally punch somebody in the face if they really upset you. So there is the positive.
We should all be lining up for that, shouldn't we, to be fair?
Yeah. Take out the work stresses, but no, it's a really great sport, and I would just actively encourage anybody that's looking for something to kind of build that discipline, give themselves that regular structure. It's a great fitness activity to take a look and give it a go, because it really is a great sport.
You heard it here first, guys. If you're looking to get along, is there a certain night or an induction evening or something like that?
Yeah, so I hate to be stand corrected on this, but I believe it's a Thursday night for the Learn to Play programme. But please check the Facebook page, because I might be wrong.
Do that.
I'm brilliant, but I'm not all knowing, unfortunately. So take a look at the Oxford Junior Stars Facebook page. All the information's there. The club contacts are there as well, of course. So reach out to somebody at the club, and they'll of course advise on how to get there and what to do and when to go.
Brilliant. And one last thing, really, before we finish off the interview, is the support. The support was phenomenal, wasn't it?
We are unbelievably blessed at Oxford to have such a brilliant support base. So I think we actually published the numbers earlier in the summer. So we've seen on average attendance or pre-season, pre-game ticket sales have increased by just over 100 tickets per game, which is massive for a club like ours. And any club in the league would be absolutely over the moon with that. And what's I think most impressive about that is it's not been a great season on the ice at all times. So the fact that we've got a really great off-ice product, people get to come down, they can interact with the players. We're very engaged in that respect. I think that helps. But from a playing point of view, it's brilliant. There's nothing worse than stepping out on the ice and it just being silent and there being no atmosphere. So, the fact that we've got such a fantastic fan base in Oxford means the world. And I would just encourage as many people as they can to get down and watch a game, give it a go. I think to dispel some of the myths, you can see the puck. You can see it, you can track the game, you can see what's going on. I think people are worried that it's sometimes too fast and you'd lose track of it. It's a really quick and easy game to pick up and understand. And it's just fast and furious. So you get to enjoy that kind of...
You're in the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
You're actually in the moment, I have to say, from what I've seen. And I don't know all the... 2 games, I've not quite sussed out the offside just yet, and dropping the puck when they drop the puck and stuff like that. But I'm getting there, and I really loved that there was mascots and everything at the last game. It was a fantastic atmosphere, and I must say, my daughter and her partner came and they said afterwards, we're really supporting Oxford City Stars. They were in the moment, they were enjoying the sport, which I think is as important as actually. Obviously you want the support, don't you? Of course you do, but it's nice to go along and actually be in the moment of enjoying what they were watching, and which they really did. So
I think I would actively encourage them to be Oxford City Stars fans, of course. Merchandise and yellow jerseys are available on the table, but as I suppose a custodian of the sport in that respect, if two more people go away and say I really enjoyed that. That's all I can ask for. I recognise Oxford's quite a cosmopolitan place, so people come to uni and go off and disappear. So, if somebody comes to uni in Oxford, picks up, enjoys watching Oxford, great, and then they go back home to wherever they go back home to, and there'll be a local team they can watch there, and if that means that they pick up another fan, great. From our perspective, we want the sport in the UK to grow, not just in Oxford, but just in the whole of the UK. And I think. I would actively encourage, if you are a travelling student or you're coming through, take a look at where your local team is and pick up a game. They won't all be as good as Oxford, obviously, but there are some brilliant clubs out there that offer great experiences to go and watch. And again, if you, even as an adult, get this burning desire to go and play, that the opportunities are there. There are recreation teams in every ice rink in the country for you to pick up a stick, a pair of gloves, and try a pair of skates on, and run around and have some fun. So I would encourage it wherever you are.
Brilliant. Look, Shannon, thanks again for coming in at short notice as well. And we wish you all the very best when it comes to the new season, and well done for this season. What I'd say to anybody, Sunday night or any home game, it's normally Sunday.
Generally Sunday. Generally.
Get along to the Ox Pens ice rink, because it is a great evening, I have to say, and it's not that expensive, I can assure you, from a sports perspective, and the thrill you get from being there is worth every penny. I will endorse that 100%. So thank you, Shannon, very much indeed. We wish them all the very best of luck for season 24-25. It should be a cracker. Taking us on to somebody who's also been in Shannon's chair, had an interview with us, young Ben Cox. Before I do that, it's really disrespectful from me. We're going to show you an Oxford City Stars montage. I went ahead of the game there, Shannon.
Not a problem.
So we're end our little piece here. Just a little bit of flavour from the Oxford City Stars, and thanks again, Shannon.
No, thank you.
I nearly did. thanks there again to Oxford City Stars and Shannon Taylor.
Love it.
It
Love
was
that.
brilliant. And like I say, I do reiterate, but it is well worth it. For £12 a ticket, I mean, it is good.
Sounds like a really good atmosphere.
Oh, the atmosphere is brilliant. There was Vuvu Sailors, there was drums, there was trumpets.
That was just me,
yeah. But yeah, a really entertaining evenings. Yeah, it is brilliant.
Yeah, no, really, really good. Quick update for you before we move on to the bit that Darryl nearly moved on to a minute ago. The National League North game, half-time up there. It's Spennymoor 3, Banbury United 1. Banbury did pull one back. They went 2-0 down. Banbury pulled a goal back through Craig Hewitt. Not Ken Charles, as it says on our WhatsApp group, because I was watching the Banbury Twitter. It was Craig Hewitt. Pulled one back, but then Spennymoor scored again just before half-time to make it 3-1. So I think that's probably game set. Bearing in mind that Banbury already scored 35 goals all season, I don't think they're going to win that one 4-3. Update from the Speedway as well. Oxford Spires against the Ipswich Witches.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Really close game there at the moment. Ipswich leading by 2 points with 5 races to go. So that's going down to the wire as well. So massive crowd down. I'm looking at some of the footage on the Twitter, on the X. We'll say Twitter, but there's a huge crowd down there again. They get fantastic support. And isn't it great to see the Oxford Stadium back doing what it used to do best? Brilliant, fantastic to see the Oxford Stadium. We'll definitely get to some Speedway, I think, during the summer if we can as well. Now you can do your little
Now I can do
piece,
that little bit. A few weeks back we had young Ben Cox, Formula Ford Championship driver, and he gave us a great little interview, but he's kept in contact, and we're really pleased he has, and he's done a little vlog for us, and we're going to show you that now. This is young Ben Cox.
Hello Darryl, KDog and Wes from the OX Unleashed team and everybody else watching. Hopefully you're all having a fine evening on this Thursday. I'm currently recording this on Friday from the 5th of April. I'm at Snetterton today, doing some dry weather running at long last, getting some laps in preparation for my race day at Silverstone the 13th of April. Hoping to get some visitors as well. You're more than welcome to come. It's only £17 from the Silverstone website, and you can get to enjoy lots more views, just like this one. More than welcome to come along. Does it for another day of testing. I'm grateful for Oldfield Motorsport for getting me out here, of course, and to my sponsors at the same time. Learned a great deal amount of stuff today, trying to keep myself pushing forward towards the front of the field. Hopefully I can achieve at Silverstone, which I'll be there in a week's time, Saturday the 13th of April. Be sure to be there if you guys wish to, because obviously Silverstone's the most local event across the season towards Oxfordshire. And yeah, thank you for OX Unleashed for sharing this video as well. I'll see you there.
Thanks, Ben. I think I'm going to call him Maverick from now on, from Top Gun, with those brilliant shades he had on as well. So, Ben, that's your new nickname, Maverick. Ben gets underway in the first race of the season. The new Formula Ford season gets underway this Saturday, the 13th of April, testing the day before on the Friday. We're going to keep everything crossed for Ben in his first race of the new season. You're going to smash it, Ben. You are a fantastic lad, and you are flying the flag for Oxfordshire. We'll definitely get you back in over the coming weeks. There are 8 rounds in total. Sorry for reading off my phone. He doesn't like that very much, but I do need to read. 8 rounds in total for the season. 3 at Brands Hatch, Castle Combe, Snetterton, Lyddon Hill and Donington Park. So some really big racing venues, and we will be keeping everything crossed for Ben. I don't think he needs luck, does he? He's a good driver. Only passed his test in 2022, though, he told me, when I did an interview the other week with him. So he showed me, actually, he took me and showed me his trophy cabinet, and it's something else. It's massive. He's got so many trophies. You're going to add a lot more, Ben, over the years, I'm sure. Good luck, then, to Ben on Saturday. That's at Silverstone. this Saturday is the first race of the season.
Good luck to young Ben. Absolutely.
Right. I think, looking at the very well put together running order, it says KDog to introduce midweek results. We've really only got the Spennymoor midweek game from today, which, as we've just mentioned, is 3-1. But we're now going to move on to the Oval Ball and Chinner, who are within a hair's breadth now of winning the league. They had another fantastic victory last weekend against the... it's escaped me now, that's annoying.
Was it Leicester?
It was Leicester Lions, yes, thank you. Well done. Very good. So Leicester Lions, a fantastic win. Rams lost as well, which basically means Chinner travel up to Birmingham Moseley this weekend, and if they can win that one, they don't even need a bonus point win, just any sort of win, and they will be champions of National League One. And hopefully, all things going well and the wind blowing in the right direction, hopefully they will claim their place in the Championship, which is absolutely incredible for a club, a club from a fairly small village, Chinner. And if they can get into the Championship, what a fantastic achievement that will be. Jerome Sale actually mentioned to me the other day, the last time Championship rugby was in Oxfordshire was when London Welsh played at the Kassam Stadium as tenants for a couple of seasons. Right. But this will be the first time we have an Oxfordshire team, as of right, a proper Oxfordshire team in the Championship, and it'll be absolutely fantastic. I know there's a lot of people going up to Chinner up to Birmingham rather on Saturday. I'm going up there, live commentary, that'll be fun. Give that a go. Hopefully we'll find somebody to excuse me, co-commentate with me. Apologies for that again. But yeah, really looking forward to that, and hopefully we'll get some really good news next weekend that Chinner are champions. Here are the highlights then, or the tries at least, from Chinner's victory on Saturday at Kingsley Road against the Leicester Lions.
I'm in a really good position, 10 is absolutely fine. And again, tackle away, Black! Back feet! And again, Shaw! Hands away. With the line. Short. Back feet. Hands anti. He's allowed to play set. Marks on the 5 there. 18 offside. Back feet.
There you go, Chinner's victory over the Leicester Lions. A bit windswept. Sorry about the microphones and the wind, but thank you very much to Leicester Lions for that footage. Absolutely. And really good result for Chinner. And as I say, fingers crossed for Saturday they can go up to Birmingham Moseley and pick up the victory that will give them the championship. There is a goal of the week this week. We haven't recaptured it, but I think having watched Mary Mungo and Midge, I think we can definitely say that John Mills's goal for Abingdon United was the goal of the week. It was a cracking finish, wasn't it? From outside the box into the top corner. So that's a goal of the week.
So many good goals.
We might possibly get that one into our goal of the season competition, which we're going to look to get together ASAP, because we've only got three more shows of this series. So the goal of the season competition is coming up, and we'll put that out to the vote, and whoever wins that will hopefully get them in to collect the prize. That'd be ideal, but let's see how that goes. Right, onwards and upwards. We're now going to go through to the hockey results that we've received this week, and here they are. So first of all, in South Central Men's Division 1 North, Abingdon Ones, it's a good win there away to Banbury Twos by 7-2. Abingdon Second Zone, not so good. In Men's Division 5 North, they went down 7-0 at home to Marlow. Moving on to the South Central Women's Division 3 North, goalless draw. You don't see many of those in hockey, do you? No, they say that.
Two come along, it's like a bus.
It's like a London bus. Goalless draw between Wycombe Twos and Abingdon Ones. Lovely spelt wrong there by our Dan Cox. Abingdon. Abingdon 2s and Whitney 4s 0-0 as well. Whitney 5ths beat Abingdon 3s by 2-1 in Women's Division 3 Cherwell. Into the South Central Men's Premier 2, Whitney beating Basingstoke by 4-2. Good game there between Whitney and Newbury and Thatcham 3s. Whitney 2s running out 4-3 winners in Men's Division 4 North, and a walkover for Banbury 4s against Whitney 3s in the Men's Division 1 Central in the Cherwell. And just moving on to the last batch of results, I think South Central Women's Division 2 North, Marlow 5, Whitney 2s 0, and Oxford Hawks 5ths 3, Whitney 3rds 1. I think that was probably all of them. No, it's not. There's a few more. Abingdon, loads of results. Another no. I should never have said that. Abingdon 2-0, Whitney 4-0 in South Central Women's Division 2 Cherwell, and I think we've done this one already. Actually, Whitney 5th 2, Abingdon 3s 1. Have they been repeated? Have we repeated those results possibly? Fixtures coming up this weekend. Excuse me again. South Central Women's Division 2 Cherwell. Abingdon 2s are away to Wychwood 2s. And in Division 3 Cherwell, local derby there between Abingdon 3s and Tame 4s. Both those games starting at 10:30. Moving on to South Central Women's Division 2 Cherwell. Whitney 4s at home to Oxford 6 at 12:30. South Central Division 3 Cherwell, Wootton Wanderers against Whitney 5th with an 11 o'clock start there. Is that a face-off, same as it is in ice hockey? Who knows? South Central... Oh, he's taking them off the screen, so I can't tell you what those ones are. Sorry about that. Producer, terrible. We'll sack him.
Yeah, he's gone again,
Sack the producer. Anyway, there were some more fixtures there, which I'm sure if you're playing hockey, you'll know what they are. Right, Darryl, according to this, you're now going to go through the Oxford Saints profile.
No, we've got no Oxford Saints profile this week, so I do apologise for that. If I've missed it, apologies to Oxford Saints. Yes, we did. So I think it's back over to you.
It is, yeah. So back to me then, and here are all the results. My laptop packed up this week, so thank you very much to Patrick for compiling these results. This is all the results from the football and the rugby from the weekend just gone.
Thanks there to Patrick Lock and putting the results service together for this week.
They looked a lot better than when I do it.
They did
they
look
looked
better,
really good.
to be fair. It would be remiss of us not to say at this point, everything that we do, Ox Sports Unleashed, is on a volunteer basis, and we're always looking for people to give us snippets from any sport. You know, please send it to us at our email, which is oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. That's oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com.
And also, of course, if anybody wants to get involved and volunteer, if you want to come into the studio to help us, or if you want to be a roving reporter, we are very, very happy to have your skills, and maybe it gives you an opportunity to showcase what you can do. We are volunteers, but our passion is Oxfordshire sport, and that's why we're bringing this show. That's why we've done 26 shows this year, which is absolutely incredible. We're getting towards the end of this current series, but yeah, you can contact us anytime, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com, and we will very happily take you on board and take you under our wing, and hopefully nurture you into a professional, which is a lot more than you and I are.
Absolutely, 100%. And if you want to present it, we might let you. We might let you at times. But yeah, please do get in contact with us at that email address we keep telling you, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. That takes us pretty much to the last segment for tonight, which is a little bit of cricket, as the cricket season is on its way and started with the county championship last week. So we're looking forward to donning our whites and hearing leather against willow and stuff like that. So we've got a picture here of Abby Norgrove in action in Sri Lanka. I think that looks a great pose, doesn't it? Weight transferring through the ball, head in a great position. For the photographer, that's really good. Back foot up, on the toes, so the weight is transferring. Bent front knee, perfect shot there from Abby, and she's doing flying the Oxfordshire flag again for England in Sri Lanka there. So well done to Abby. And also, James Cole's had a reasonable start to his county championship
few wickets, few runs.
Season with a few wickets and some runs. And we've got some footage of that now. And we probably will talk over this. We might as well do.
Yeah, we know a bit about Cole.
We know a bit about Colesy. So here's floated across the left-hander and caught it slip there. And here we go, a little bit of a back pad. Good catch at short square leg.
Wicket number
again,
3.
This
bit of a hack that though, wasn't it?
It's a really good catch in the end.
It was. I think it was the other guy's catch really, but.
And now this is James hitting one down the leg side for 4, sweeping really well. He's getting into a really good position there to sweep over the top.
So good. One. So good to watch, isn't it?
Looks easy, doesn't it?
It does.
It looks easy.
Pretty convinced, Darryl, we're looking at a future England player now. I really do.
He could be there.
50 there for James Coles, and he carried on with a nice little dab through the offside. And another one, a little square cut. Through the leg side.
Here we go again. Gets very excited when he takes a wicket. It's really good. Well, that's absolutely adjacent, isn't it? Plum.
You never got that excited for us, did you?
No, never. And here we are, another one at gully. Everybody round the bat. It was quite exciting.
6 wickets and 76 runs. That's not a bad opening game in the season.
Quite getting through the tail there. I think they were 9 down. So a good game, but a good start for Colesy. We wish him the very best, as we do all our Oxfordshire youngsters playing first-class cricket.
Absolutely.
So that just about wraps it up for this week, I think. And we've thoroughly enjoyed that. Great interview there with Shannon Taylor, so we thank him again for coming in. We thank you for watching, wherever you have been watching us. Thank you very much. Any highlights for you for tonight?
Shannon Taylor again, brilliant. And, what a proud dad he is, isn't he, with his son. And I like the fact that he said, that he didn't sort of push Ethan too hard. He let him get on with it, and that's what we love to see, because it's always good to obviously have that pride in your kids. But we see it a lot. We got obviously a lot of county players over the years, and I'd say probably 99% of all the parents that have come through have left the kids to it, and it's important. I think it is important, because you need to let them express themselves and not put too much pressure on them. And I think if you do that, I think you're going to flourish. And I think that's a really good message from Shannon there, isn't it? Just to sort of let your kids, play with freedom, no pressure, and and then you reap the rewards.
Absolutely. Special mention to a couple of players that played in our trial game today at Sunningwell Cricket. Elfie List, a certain Elfie List from Oxford Downs Cricket Club. Got a hat-trick.
He did.
And also Henry MacDonald, Harpenden individual player, to not out 50s. Well played, Henry. So if you're watching, good luck to you.
You told him to subscribe.
I did tell him to subscribe. It was something like that. A bit of bribery going on. But there we go. Our thanks for that. But that's about it for Ox Sports Unleashed for this week. This week, that Sam Northeast broke an amazing record at Lord's Cricket Ground, getting the highest first-class cricket score of 335 at Lord's, surpassing Graham Gooch's record 333 40 years ago, I believe.
No,
it is 40 years ago.
No,
it is
1990 against India.
It's 34 years ago. So there you go. Well done to Sam Northeast, an ex-masked cricketer.
He was.
So that's it from us for this week. Please join us next week on Ox Sports Unleashed, where we'll unleash some more Ox Sports. It's good night from me.
See ya.